Retro.
Hi, this is Vanessa Marshall, voice of Hera and Rook Cast, and you're listening to Dennis and Jay on Podcast Stardust. Their behavior is continually unexpected.
Welcome to Podcast Stardust. This is the fully armed and operational podcast dedicated to Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. I'm Dennis Keithling.
And I'm Jay Krebs.
And we're going to try something new in this episode. We're going to create a little movie marathon starring some Star Wars actors and movies that are not Star Wars. But more on that in a second. But before we dive that, Jay, you want to go ahead and remind everybody what our social media contacts are?
Absolutely. You don't have to search IMDb for us. We are on Facebook and Instagram conveniently at Podcast Stardust.
All right. The digital line, the signal's boosted to maximum output, shields down. We are now broadcasting to the galaxy. So there is not enough news this week. We're recording a little bit earlier than usual to accommodate some other plans, and there just wasn't any news. So we decided to try something new. We thought it would be fun to look at some of the actors that have starred in Star Wars movies and talk about some of their other roles. However, we're not going to have just a straight up conversation. We are going to do a little bit of a game. What we're going to do is I'm going to pick some names out of a hat. It'll be 3 different actors from Star Wars, and then whoever's turn it is will have to come up with some other movie that each one of those actors has starred in, not all together, but a movie, and create a little movie marathon out of it. And this is going to give us an opportunity to talk about these actors outside of their Star Wars roles and also talk about some other movies a little bit. But what do you think, Jay?
I'm so excited for this. You always come up with the best ideas. So, yeah, I'm totally on board with this. I love movies. I love movie marathons. And I always love discovering new movies too. So, this will be fun.
Yeah. So just a couple of rules. The actor only has had to have had a role in the movie. They do not need to be the lead star. They don't even need to be in the movie for more than a minute. The voice acting counts. And then we do not have to have seen the movie either. These could be movies like you were just suggesting there, Jay, that might be something that we want to put on a movie bucket list or a movie wish list of some sort to watch. But with that said, let's give it a go. And Jay, I'm going to go ahead and let you go first. So here we go. Your first actor is Joel Edgerton, also known as Owen Beru. Let's see. Then we have James Earl Jones and Ian McDermott.
Wow. Okay. So, James Earl Jones, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is actually Coming to America. Love that movie. Joffrey Joffer, King Joffrey Joffer. That's like the best one for me. Off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
with that voice, you can do a lot of different things there. I mean, I'm thinking Lion King for one.
Oh, yeah.
Either the animated or live action version. And then, of course, there's Field of Dreams is
Definitely.
another good one there.
Oh, Conan the Barbarian. It's
Oh,
another one
yeah.
of my favorite movies. I often forget that he's in that because, I mean, you think about it. I mean, he's had such a very long and very diverse background. Another one is The Sandlot. Love The Sandlot, and I have a very very personal connection to The Sandlot as well. My nephew who passed away, that was his favorite movie, so we used to watch that one together. So that's a great one. Okay, so for Joel Edgerton, there's the movie Bright from 2017. And I feel like I might have seen this one. This was Will Smith was the star of this one.
Okay.
And have you ever seen that one?
No, I am not familiar with that one.
And if you look it up, it just says in an alternate present day, humans, orcs, elves, and fairies have been coexisting since the beginning of time. Two police
Okay, I do
officers,
know
one
what
a
that is
human, the
now that
other
you
an
described
orc.
it. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I think I have seen that one
Okay.
before. So that would be a fun one.
Okay.
And
They're looking at Ian McDermott next.
He's another one that I feel like has got to have so many movies that I'm
There's
not even aware of.
Yeah, he was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and the other thing I can think of is Dragon Slayer. And so that
Oh,
might
okay.
go well with your Bright choice. And then if you want to round out the fantasy element with James Earl Jones, you could do Conan the Barbarian.
Oh gosh, yeah, there you go. That would be a good one. He's
Yeah.
also listed as being in Sleepy Hollow.
I've seen that. I don't remember being particularly impressed with that movie, but it's been a long time.
Well, I would watch anything Johnny Depp's in, and I love Tim Burton as a director,
hmm
so that would definitely be a fun one. But I don't even know what Ian McDermott played in that. I'd have to look that up. He was Doctor what? Doctor Lumla something. It's cut off.
hmm
But yeah, I would definitely watch that.
So, what is your final three then?
Okay. So my final 3 movies that I would sit down and watch would definitely be Coming to America, Bright, and I'm gonna go with Sleepy Hollow.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well, then, very good. Let me go ahead and put together a list for myself. And so I got Julian Glover, so General Veers, Oscar Isaac,
nice.
and Laura Dern. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So for Julian Glover, there is only one choice to make, and that is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He was
Oh,
the
yeah,
villain
for
in that.
sure.
So that was a no, that's a no-brainer. Now, Oscar Isaac, I'm trying to think, what have I seen him in? Because the stuff that's coming to mind right now is that his television work, like Moon Knight, which doesn't count for this
Yeah.
purposes. And then, of course, he's reprised that role in What If. Um, Scanning back, it was in Dune Part One. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. A backup choice would be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I've watched twice in the past 2 weeks. I love that movie;
Oh,
it's so
wow.
good. Yeah, and he of course plays Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man 2099 character in that one. But he's Duke Leto Atreides in Dune Part One, so I'm going to go with that. And then for Laura Dern, Jurassic Park, right? I mean,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
I feel bad. This trio that I got was a lot easier to figure out than the one you just got here. So, but this is I think is a pretty good blockbuster little movie marathon here between the Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, Dune, and then Jurassic Park. I mean, that's some good popcorn movies there.
Yeah, it really is. And
Mhm.
I know this I'm gonna get some, proverbial tomatoes thrown at me, but I've never seen Dune.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, I
I have
haven't.
not.
I saw the first one. I liked it. I've read the first 5 or 6 books in that series, and I haven't seen the original Dune. This is the one that just came out in 2021 during COVID, and so yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. I need to get around to watching the second one there. Like I said, though, I mean, I'm really tempted to replace Dune with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because I've watched that movie a half dozen times or so. It's just so incredible, and I'm looking forward to the sequel or the second half because it left on a cliffhanger there,
Oh,
Beyond the
yeah.
Spider Verse, which this was Across the Spider Verse came out right as we were getting into the uh, Screen Actors Guild strike, and so they started pushing back all the movies, and so that they could bank things for us to watch later. Remember that when we were all concerned about when things were actually going to come out?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we were expecting Beyond the Spider-Verse in 2024. Well, then it got pushed back, and we were expecting it in 2025, and now it's finally coming out in 2026. So, about time,
Cool.
is all I can say.
Well, you gotta go with what makes you happy.
Mhm. Yeah, and then, of course, Jurassic Park. I mean, I don't know necessarily that all the sequels have lived up to the hype, or have been it lived up to the legacy of the first one, but that first Jurassic Park was such a cinematic experience. I can
Oh,
remember
yeah.
the first time I saw it, which is at a drive-in, which is not how I wanted to see it because I'd heard so much about the sound effects for that movie, and then I got to go see
Uh-huh.
it in a theater afterwards when that T-Rex comes marching at you, and you can feel the bass of those
Oh
footsteps
gosh.
hitting in the chest. That's just such an incredible experience.
Oh, yeah. And there's nothing like it. And I think all of us can appreciate those cinematic moments like that that just are just groundbreaking in so many
Hmm.
ways,
Yeah,
literally and figuratively.
and what more needs to be said about Indiana Jones: Last Crusade? I mean,
Yeah.
I liked the those first three movies in Indiana Jones. It's such a good trilogy. You know, Crystal Skull was only okay, and then I really liked Dial of Destiny. I thought that was good, but Last Crusade is maybe one of my top 10 favorite movies. So,
Yeah, I'm with you. That's probably one of my favorite Indiana Jones movie, if not my favorite. I actually haven't seen the most recent one. It's
oh wow,
another one I
okay,
need to put on my bucket list.
all right. Well, you're up again, and your first actor is Simon Pegg,
Ooh,
Unkar,
okay.
Unkar Plutt himself, and then you've got Alec Guinness and oh, Hayden Christensen.
Oh, yay. That one's easy. I had a whole list of them for that one. So all right, so starting with Simon Pegg. Wow. What is it? The World's End? That one where they do like a big pub crawl or something like that in that movie.
I'm
And
not familiar with that movie.
yeah, yeah, and it's supposed to be absolutely hilarious. And I've seen
Mhm.
bits and pieces of that one. So I would think I'm gonna definitely have to go with
The
that one
World's End.
because
Okay,
The
yeah,
World's
looking at it.
End, yeah.
Mhm.
And I know he's been in oh, Star Trek. Yeah,
Yep.
he was in Star Trek too. Holy cow.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's another one. Wow, that one's hard.
And Mission Impossible.
I love the first Star Trek though. Mission Impossible, okay, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But I mean, I love me some Star Trek for sure. And so yes, that would be amazing. And
Yeah,
then
he's got a lot to choose from there. Just thinking of let's see, you got all those Hot Fuzz is a funny police movie that
mhm.
he was in as well. But yeah, I think if I were The World's End, I haven't seen that one, but of the ones I've seen, Star Trek probably would have been my choice there. So,
Yeah.
anyways, who do you
Yeah.
got next?
Okay. So my second I blanked out when you said Hayden. Who is my second one?
Alec Guinness.
Oh gosh. How could I forget Obi-Wan? Sir Alec Guinness to be,
Hmm.
you know, and I know he's been in some really amazing movies back in his, I hate to say his prime, but
Hmm.
I know he's done a lot of English type movies and whatnot. So, let's see. Oh, a lot of these I'm looking at right now, and I'm honestly not really familiar with a whole lot of them. I mean, there's Doctor Zhivago that he was in,
Hmm.
and I think I saw that one when I was very, very young, and I didn't really understand it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, so that one I wouldn't mind revisiting. And then, there's other ones as well. Let's see. He was in a Little Lord Fauntleroy. I don't know that I've seen that one either. Oh, Passage to India. He was in that one.
Lawrence of
Okay.
Arabia.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I'm gonna go with.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's one you have to go with out of
Oh,
all
yeah.
those there.
Okay.
It's been forever since
So,
I've seen that. I need to see it again.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with okay. So for Simon Pegg, it's so hard. Star Trek or World's End. And I love Star Trek. I could watch that one over and over and over again. So I'm gonna go with that. And I'm gonna
Hmm.
go with Lawrence of Arabia. And then for Hayden, oh my gosh. So I love Jumper, Awake. One thing that Hayden does so well is he does pain very well. And have you ever seen Awake?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's the one where he is basically immune, if you will, to anesthesia. So he's actually awake for his surgery and he's
That is
feeling
un
everything.
oh, man,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. And he can't move, he can't speak, he can't do anything. And he's actually it was like open heart surgery. And so it's very, very graphic in that way, but it's so good. And he's so good in that one. And Jumper, he's just absolutely amazing. And then there's Shattered Glass, which is another amazing movie. One of them I haven't seen is called Little Italy, and that was a 2018 movie, and it was actually like a rom-com. So
Mhm.
I would love to see that one. But out of those, and then Life as a House is a great movie too. but I would have to go with Jumper on that one. That's one of my kind of go-to movies that I watch whenever I just feel like watching Hayden and something non-Star Wars, so I gotta go with that. So, yeah, so Star Trek, Lawrence of Arabia, and Jumper.
All right, all right. Well, now it's time for me to put together another trilogy, not trilogy, a little movie marathon, and I've got Ewan McGregor as my first.
Nice.
Let's see, and then Natalie Portman. So we're just knocking out the
Nice.
the prequel trilogy cast right there, and Lupita Nyong'o.
Alright.
So okay, how am I going to do this? Well, Natalie Portman, I'm going to knock out first, and that's going to be Thor.
Mm,
I I'm just big fan of the Thor movies, and I mean the original is not my favorite of those four. That would be the third one, but that one is really good, and I liked her in it.
The Dark
Um,
World. That was a great one. I think
well,
I
the
saw
Dark
that
World
one,
was
like,
the second one, I
5
think.
times.
Yeah, but the Love and Thunder, I just was not a fan of. I liked what she did in it, but there was just too much goofiness on the behalf of Thor and Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in that one. Taika
Mhm.
Waititi just kind of lost it with that one. Lupita Nyong'o, let's keep it in the realm of Marvel, and we will go with Black Panther on that one.
Nice.
So yeah, that's one of the best Marvel movies that's out there. Okay, Ewan McGregor. What am I going to do with that one?
Oh, see, that one's easy for me. I got 3, boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom.
which ones would you do?
Oh, The Island. That is one of my very
Hmm.
favorite movies of all time. Oh, it's just I could watch that every we quote that movie at my house so much.
I
It's
haven't
just and
seen it.
Scarlett Johansson. Oh, he and Scarlett Johansson are amazing in it. It's so
Yeah.
good. And then, The Impossible. Have you ever seen that one too?
No,
That one
see,
also has Tom Holland in it. A
I'm
very young
looking
Tom Holland.
I'm looking through his IMDb page and I'm realizing I have not seen many of his movies, not as many as I thought I had seen
And then
here.
Trainspotting would be my 3rd.
Okay. Okay. Do, do, do.
Then there's Moulin Rouge. So good.
Yeah, I saw Moulin Rouge. I haven't seen that movie. I saw the musical. When did I see that? I saw that last year, and it was pretty good. I liked that. It
Mhm.
was. I don't know. I think I had a something much bigger and better built up in my mind, so I kind of had to readjust my expectations on that one. So, he was in Black Hawk Down, and I have never
Mhm.
seen that, and that's been on my list for a long time. So I think that is what I'm going to do. There, I see. I was looking for something that would fit in really, really well with the superhero movies I picked for Natalie and Lupito, and
Ah.
I'm just not coming up with anything. He was in Birds of Prey, but he was the villain, and that movie wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either.
Mhm.
So striking out on that one. So we're gonna go Black Hawk Down because I haven't seen it and I've been wanting to. So that
There you go.
is what we're going to do there. Okay.
That's a great one.
All right. Let's see what you've got coming up next. So you got Phoebe Waller Bridge, and then Mads Mikkelsen. You're getting a sequel trilogy heavy one here. And Liam Neeson.
Alright. Well, I know exactly what I'm gonna do for Liam Neeson. Taken.
Yeah, good
I
choice.
mean, that's definitely a no-brainer there. Although, being the voice of Aslan in Narnia is
Hmm.
just oh gosh, I have so many wonderful memories of my kids watching Narnia growing up too. So that one's up there too. So let me think about this. All right, so Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Let's see. Well, I mean, she's really popular for Fleabag. I mean, she was in Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, she was in the Dial
Was
of
it the
Destiny.
Dial of Destiny? Yeah, which I've
That's
not
the one I.
seen.
Yeah, that's one I'd pick.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I heard she was amazing in Fleabag. I mean, that's the one that they always talk about when they talk about her, doing the voice of our beloved droid.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would probably go with Dial of Destiny only because I haven't seen it. And then for Mads, let's see, movies and shows that he's been in. Oh, Hannibal. Okay, that was a show, so it's not a movie, so that one doesn't count.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's right, he was in Doctor Strange. Oh my gosh, yeah,
Hmm.
I definitely would have to go with that.
Yeah.
I completely
Just,
forgot he was in that.
yeah, he was the villain, Caecilius, in that one.
Yeah,
So, and he was good. He was really good
how
in
could
that
I
one.
forget? Yeah, he was super good in that one. Yeah, I guess I couldn't get him out of my head, from just thinking about him in, you know, Star Wars, but he was in King Arthur too. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. See, I only put people on this list that were in the movies. I didn't do any one that was only in one of the live action shows on Disney Plus. So
Yeah.
no exclusive. Yeah, so Pedro Pascal is not on this list,
Mhm.
for instance. But I'm looking here at the cast for Doctor Strange and Benjamin Bratt. So another Star Wars
Oh, yeah,
alum
there
was
you
on
go.
that. Yeah. Now he
Ta-da.
didn't have a big role, but there he is.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
what's
no,
your
I
trilogy of
yeah, so
episodes?
I definitely I would have to go with, Dial of Destiny, Doctor Strange for Mads, and then, I'm actually gonna go with Narnia for Liam
Okay,
Neeson, just
sounds
because it's
good.
more of a feel-good movie. Taken would make me feel really, really sad after watching the other 2.
But it's so quotable. When it
Yeah,
comes to it.
it really
All right,
is.
let's see what my list is here. I got Daisy Ridley,
Nice.
Harrison Ford,
Nice.
and Andy Serkis. Okay.
Ooh,
So I'm gonna have to. I have an idea for Daisy, but I want to look and see if there's anything that I'm overlooking here. Just a second here. Daisy Ridley. What has she done lately? I have not seen her in much recently. So she's got Cleaner, which didn't do particularly well, which is an action role. Let's see. We Bury the Dead, Young Woman in the Sea, which I've heard good things about, but I have not seen. Magpie. Sometimes I think about dying. Yeah, I just not seen her stuff, but I did see her in Murder on the Orient Express, the remake of that, which is the Agatha Christie novel that was turned into a classic movie, and then that was remade and released in 2017. I'm a huge, huge fan of the detective Hercule Poirot in that series, so I'm going to go with Murder on the Orient Express for
there
Daisy
you go.
Ridley in that
There
one.
you go.
For Harrison Ford, I mean, come on, this is the complete and total layup of all complete and total layups of this entire thing, and that is Indiana Jones. And well, since I already picked The Last Crusade for Julian Glover, I'm going to use the Raiders of the Lost Ark for Harrison Ford there. Andy Serkis, also a complete gimme, and that would be Lord of the Rings. So pick one of those
Nice.
three. Yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
go with that one. So he's fantastic. I like him, and I like all the work he's done in Star Wars here. And what this is making me realize is after all these movies that we're talking about, is I really do lean towards the blockbuster end of the spectrum when it comes to movies. And so maybe I need to start diversifying a little bit and see some of this deeper stuff here.
Well, I'll tell you,
But
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you like what you like.
yeah, yeah, I'm
But,
trying to think. Harrison Ford was also just in the new Captain America movie, which I liked. It wasn't as good as the original three.
mhm,
I'm trying to think what else I would consider picking him from. Of course, he played Jack Ryan and Clear and Present Danger and some of those movies. Anything else? I haven't
yeah.
seen
Oh,
Blade
I got
Runner, but
some
I've heard.
favorite.
Yeah, what else would you pick?
Oh, The Fugitive. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a
Tommy
good
Lee
one.
Jones, that's a great
Mhm.
one. Air Force One.
That's
Ender's
another great one.
Game. Ender's Game is one of my all-time favorite movies, like, sci-fi wise, because I just loved the books, and I loved him in that.
I
And
didn't
then
realize you'd read those books. Huh, okay,
Oh,
I've read those
yeah.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I love those books. And then Sabrina, which is kind of a weird off the wall sort of thing. It was a
Mhm.
remake of the original that I believe starred Audrey Hepburn, but this one was a remake of that. I think it was in, like, the 1990s, I wanna say. And so it's one of those I like the off the beaten path kind of movies, but, I mean, the ones that you picked were absolutely amazing. And then for me, Andy Serkis, like,
Mhm.
Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love, love, love that. I mean, that's just amazing. That's another one that we quote quite a bit. And then for Daisy, she was in a movie called Abduction, which I didn't realize she was in it, but that one starred Taylor Lautner, and he was just coming off of like the Twilight hype and fame when
Mhm.
he starred in that movie, and I remember seeing that movie, but I don't remember her in it. I'd have to go back and watch it to know that it was her.
Yeah. The other thing that occurred to me is Andy Serkis was also in the Marvel universe. He played Claw in Black Panther, and
Oh.
also in Age of Ultron. He played that same character in both movies. So another
Oh, yeah.
Marvel alum. I got
Nice.
quite a few Marvel alums in this list. of,
Mhm.
so, well, of the three trilogies or three sets of movies that you put together, do you have one that's your favorite?
Oh, of course, anything with Hayden in it. I mean, come
So
on.
that block of three, you think?
Honestly, yeah, I do, just because the fact that not only just because of Hayden, of course, but because those other movies that I mentioned, I just think that I would love to just sit down and it would be a great afternoon or a great evening to be able to take all those in.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Boy, this is hard. Do I want to watch the Harrison Ford, Andy Serkis, Daisy movie marathon? Because those are three good movies.
Mhm.
Or, geez, do I want to go with the original one, Julian Glover, Oscar Isaac, and Laura Dern? This is a tough choice. Hmm.
You
I
could
don't
mix
know.
and match.
Well, I'm trying not to. The point was to come up with these little movie marathons this way here. I
Sure.
mean, as much as I love Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, and Lupita Nyong'o, and those two Marvel movies are really good. It's just that I couldn't come up with something that I love the thought of watching from Ewan McGregor, which strikes me as really crazy out of all that. So, hmm, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Harrison Ford, Daisy, Andy Serkis group, just because I know that I'm there's three movies I'm gonna absolutely enjoy watching again. And I mean, I've seen the Indiana Jones and I've seen Lord of the Rings a tons and tons of time. I haven't seen Murder on the Orient Express recently. So yeah, that's the one I think I go with from my
Yeah.
selection. So
Solid choice.
all right. Well, that was interesting. I wasn't sure how that was gonna
Yeah,
go. It was
just fun.
something fun to do here, and hopefully next week we'll have some more news so we can get back into our regular news coverage. But it just really was quiet. I was looking at stuff, and we don't get into so much of the collecting news, and that's just kind of what's been out there for this week. And it's we're more interested in the projects and the stories that are coming out, and sometimes the experiences or what people had to say about the projects they've been. And there just hadn't been a whole lot of that. And frankly, it's a lot of this is why we did X and Andor, and not that that's all bad, but we're going to have another Andor here episode in just a minute, and just
Mhm.
in the next couple episodes. So I didn't want to bog it all down with that. So this was something fun to try, and we'll have to see if we can maybe do this again or something similar. Maybe using some of the actors from the Disney Plus series if this was well received. But we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, thank you all for joining us for this episode of Podcast Stardust and this little game featuring Star Wars actors. We hope you'd enjoyed it. I'd really like to know what you thought about it, or if you had your own thoughts on some of these choices we made for some of these actors. Definitely let us know, and Jay will be giving our social media contacts here in just a bit. But if you've enjoyed the episode, then please consider subscribing to the podcast if you haven't done so already. You can do that on any podcatcher that you've got. We're available pretty much anywhere. Once you've done that, you can find an even more extensive list of our back episodes if you head over to retrozap.com, which is also home to a bunch of other great shows on the podcast. I know Love, Death, and Robots Plus is, I think, imminently going to be releasing a new episode from season 4, Love, Death, and Robots. And Superhero Suite's been up to a lot of great stuff. And of course, so has Enjoy Stuff. So make sure you check out all of those. Jay, you want to remind everybody what those social media contacts are once again?
You got it, Dennis. We're on Facebook and Instagram conveniently at Podcast Stardust. And we also maintain some Pinterest boards. And we also have our 2 YouTube outlets where you can find us on the traditional YouTube as well as YouTube Music. So please head over to both of those, like, subscribe, share those out. And as Dennis was just saying, please let us know what you thought of this episode and also what your choices would be. And if you are in need of some new Project Stardust, we're thinking about Rogue One here. Podcast Stardust swag, you can hit us up on our T Public store, and the link to that will be in our show notes. And you can pick up one of 7 different show logo designs available on all kinds of things from apparel and home goods and all kinds of fun stuff. So, once again, hit up that link in our show notes.
Jay, you want to go ahead and give everybody the latest in cosplay?
Sure. So you can always catch me on my Instagram, which is at j.snipscosplay. And I sure do appreciate all the support that I've been gathering lately. And I would love to see everybody come out and check out my stories. I'm always also lifting up other cosplayers and content creators and small business owners and the like. So once again, you can find that on j.snipscosplay on Instagram.
Okay, upcoming on the show on Monday, we'll be getting back into our coverage of Light and Magic with a look at episode 2 from season 2. And then on Wednesday, well, I was just talking about Andor, and we'll be talking about how we look at Rogue One after having seen season 2 of Andor. So this is a conversation you and I have been eager to do for a couple weeks. So
Yes.
make sure you're around for that one as well. But with that said, thanks for listening to episode 893 of Podcast Stardust, everyone. Have a great weekend. And until next time, may the Force be with you.